Okay guys, hey, it's Alex again. So remember in part 1 how it crashed? I assume the under, like most games these days, saves automatically, but when I started the experience again, I was back at the very beginning. And obviously, because I'd done it once, I was able to get through it pretty quick. I'm playing at about 10x speed here. I'm playing it back at 10x speed. This isn't obviously the speed I managed to play in real time. That would be silly. A couple confirmation things. I could definitely tell watching closer here that I was interacting with a mirror version of myself. I did a few actions to just double check that. Very cool. I love this little cooperative puzzle mechanic that you do a couple times. First to open that door and then to go down here and have one of you cranking while the other one of you goes down there. And of course, if it takes you more than 2 tries, you're going to have a bunch of you in there, which is kind of fun. And here we are. Okay, so what I was doing today was we have 2 quests in my office, and I grabbed David Gochfeld, who I've done a lot of immersive VR theater stuff with Alive in Plasticland and our other experiments. He also did a Hamlet live VR experience and Holojam Wonderland, which was an Alice in Wonderland thing. Anyway, we're both immersive theater and VR buffs, and we decided to hang out in this world together today. So I was in one quest, and he was in another quest, and we were about 5 feet apart. And the first thing we wanted to do was see if we could find each other. So we went over here where there's a little nightclub thing going on, and we were like, okay, so yeah, there's some folks down here. Can we find each other? And so I went to the front of the stage, and I was like, I'm going to snap my fingers. And he's like, okay, I see you. And so we thought, great, there's David in front of me, and we can see each other and interact a little bit. And this was his first time in the under, so he was, asking me for some tips and advice. And I don't know a lot of the magic stuff yet, but I was trying to show him at least, the ways that you can put broken things inside your mask and then do other things with it. And then I also realized, hey, we can make onions. I'm sure I'm going to be taught that at some other point in the experience, but for now, just kind of fun to see lots and lots of onions that float in 0 gravity until you put your mask back on. It kind of falls down. Also really interesting how you can just grab things directly from people. There's this goopy step too. I'm not quite sure what the goopy step does. Again, I'm sure it's for magic, and there's a way to learn more about it. But yeah, this was really interesting to be social in that David and I could be talking to each other the whole time. Obviously, I'm recording this after the fact. You don't get to hear the conversations we were having, but there's the cat. We're pretty sure this is a live person here because there's some very direct interaction. That's David interacting with the cat, cat person. And it's also interesting, yeah, I see when you do magic, you actually can affect the real-time lighting in the scene, which, can be very special. It's interesting to affect the actual lighting of the room by doing certain kinds of magic. So this is me being like, hey, do you want a carrot? How's that carrot? It's fun to hand objects and things to people. There's David and the cat feeding each other. That's fun. Cat says no thank you, I guess. Yeah, really interesting little interaction happening here. House lights are up. I'm eating the steak. I take a bite, give the cat the rest of the steak. Yeah, yum, 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 yum. Then starts to clean himself. What was I going to say? Oh, it's interesting that you can just snatch things from people, though. There's no ownership of an object except, I guess, your mask. If you grab something from someone, it will just disappear.
Sorry, I had
and
to
then
scram
here's the MC guy kind of
Trust me.
throwing everything
It's
off for me
worth it.
because he
Grab
thinks
my
that
hat.
I've never done this before. Very weird. Yeah, didn't get that save. Interested in what's going on up there. I hadn't noticed those numbers and letters before. Right, and I'll skip past this since we did it yesterday. I wonder if there's a little shortcut to get past some of these tutorial elements if you've already done them. Right, and so everyone in this experience is definitely pre-recorded, suffice to say, though I still think it would be really fun. I kind of want every single animation experience actor to be something that could be live. This would certainly be tricky because there's a time element, but even just like if every so often a live actor hopped into that scene and just did it one-on-one with you and then all of a sudden was having like a very direct interaction or level of communication with you, I think that'd be really cool. Seen the bottles again. It seemed to be the same scenes in the same order, which took a little bit of the magic out of it. Like I thought I was picking some random ones, but there does seem to be a distinct order that you see them in. Something similar was employed in virtual reality. This clip got cut out of my video last night because my recorder stopped working for a second. So we'll let this play for a minute.
Me. Me, my unlimited data. Data. Unlimited.
I think I asked last night, who's that guy? His name's Russell. Okay, we'll fast forward through this. This whole time, David's like, where are you? There's things happening with this cat. And I couldn't get back to the nightclub, so I just had to kind of watch this stuff again. But yeah, it seems like the MC, he's got some kind of nefarious plan for us all. Have a feeling he's something of a villain. And then, right, I had to go through this whole thing again. Took me like 30 minutes last night. Now I'm able to do it pretty quick. Just, yeah, hey, here's a broken thing. Let's repair it. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. And then finally, I was able to get back in here. And then all of a sudden, what? There, there's swords and there's flamingo balloon things. I did not understand how this happened. I just heard David saying like there's suddenly props on the ground. I should ask him actually to understand better about where these came from. I don't know if people conjured them or if one of the performers was like handing them out. But I'm cool with it. And then someone here, knows a spell to grow things. They can make things really big. I'm not quite sure how to do that. I should have watched them more closely. I'm still just making onions.
Leopold thought he was helping Colin take his mind off of Jorrit, but breakups can't hold a candle to 5,000 years of druid binding spells. Coming soon to a mask near you.
I hope that's a real preview of what's to come.
Have I mentioned I'm a vegetarian? I don't eat meat. I don't eat anything. But I do love a pickled onion. And speaking of onions, we've got plenty of fine fare available right here.
This is my favorite.
At the Under. But while you're thinking about the next thing to stuff in your face hole, our next esteemed guest has a nutritious
thought that was a ship mast coming out.
Put your hands together.
Just a big
for
sword.
Our very own nonpareil Aaron Markey.
Next performer. Live or virtual?
She's shy and she's clean and she's the color of a stormy night on the Hudson and the sky is so clean. The raindrops fall like rain.
This, of course, being the scene that introduced everyone to the amazing locomotion mechanic in this game, doing the kind of warp forward, pull the fabric of reality toward you thing. Yeah, here, I have a giant sword now. I'm gonna eat some food or grab some props. Yeah, still trying to figure out what kind of magic tricks I can do. Man, again with this goop, what can I do with this goop? I think I get the goop by like holding one of the grip buttons down while snapping. Can't remember. I get that black smoke. And then, yeah, again, lights everywhere whenever you're doing magic. It's like, it's like kind of drawing attention to yourself, which is, kind of a bummer if there's a live actor up on stage trying to perform and all the lights and all the focus is going to the people in the audience doing magic tricks. Yeah. And then, hey, yeah, I made a ball. I'm not sure how I made the ball. David just grabbed it from me there. And some candy. Yeah, that was yummy. Here, do you want your candy? Enjoy your candy. So many onions. Onions everywhere. See, a lot of social VR experiences, if you get really close to someone, they'll disappear. Like you actually have like a bubble setting. I'm surprised that's not here. Haven't checked out this bar yet. So we got a martini. Whoop, I wanted to grab the martini. I destroyed it instead and got a coaster. See a little reference to the ship up there, the doomed ship. The 0G thing is pretty interesting. 0G until you go away, and then gravity kind of turns back on. Goopy goopies. See, they become globular too. Ching! Good little clink. I really do like the lights. I think this is something that you don't really have anything like this in any of the other social VR experiences. The lighting really helps set tone and mood, and yeah, now we're throwing cat food cans. Trying to replicate the pulley effect. Interesting choice to make the stage a diagonal like that. It kind of makes it feel a little more like a ship. Also makes it a little hard to feel like you're perfectly centered. Alright, so I think that performance was recorded. Otherwise, I think the performer would have come down and, you know, interacted a little bit. But I think maybe one of the cats is still live.
What's that? Do I hear the sound of... It can't be. It just can't be. They're not ready, I tell you. It's not the time. You said only after... Everyone, someone would like to speak with you all.
Who's gonna speak?
It's me, Vicky. Vicky the cat. I hope you all enjoyed wet food.
This is definitely live.
Oh, thank you. Snaps for me. Wonderful. I want to see what kind of crowd you are, so let's play a little naughty game, shall we? Called Would You Rather. Now, would you rather be stoned to death by
Yikes, body
pickles
space.
or drown in a vat of mayonnaise? If you want to be stoned to death by pickles, go to your right. If you want to drown in a vat of mayonnaise, go to your left. There you are. Mayonnaise people, pickle people. There's only two people in the world, really. Pickles and mayonnaise. Mayonnaise and pickles. My next question is, would you rather sweat maple syrup, go to your right, or grow hair that's spaghetti, go to
I
your
said
left?
sweat maple syrup.
Spaghetti,
David said
maple
spaghetti
syrup.
because sustenance and actual
Lots of
food.
spaghetti people.
I think that's a good point.
That is surprising, I will say, because I prefer breakfast foods that I could just sweat all over. Yes, snaps for that. Snaps. Now we're going to play a little game called Don't Push the Button.
Don't push
Very
the button.
simple.
Nice sound cue.
Are you ready? That's all you have to do. Who would like like to play? You there, you seem very Oh yes, you got a hand raised. Wonderful. Come on up here to the stage, my friend.
So this was interesting because
And don't push
she didn't look at
this
me at all.
button, okay? That's all
But
you have to do
somehow,
is don't push it.
all of a sudden, I found myself
Come on up. Are you
up
ready?
on the stage.
Your time begins when I say so, which is now. Don't push that button. Don't press that
Am I going to push the button?
I know your palms are
What do you think?
sweaty. Don't press
Thinking
it.
about it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, we have a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Snaps for that. Let's give her her prize. It's a brand new car.
I didn't mind being called a hurt, but it is interesting. I wonder if they get any kind of
Look at that.
data as a
Isn't it
performer,
wonderful?
whether they're speaking to
Who would have thought?
someone with a particular
Now,
gender
if you
pronoun.
all don't
I really
mind,
wanted
if you
this
could
car.
just
I couldn't
grab me a
really
drink
get
from
it
the
off the
bar
stage.
over there. I don't get paid here. I only get paid in alcohol, so a beer, wine, martini. I do like an old-fashioned. Yes, the bar over there. Just grab me a drink.
There you are. Well,
One-
have you
No,
tried
don't
yet?
take me.
Oh, you're so...
Ah,
Time boat is waiting for you.
see
We've
again,
got feasts,
sucked away
fires,
to be back
fabulously
in tutorial mode,
citations,
even
and
though I've already done
suspense.
it.
All this can be yours. Go on.
Cats have a very low tolerance, if you didn't know. And thank you so much for playing. Don't push the button. Oh, thank you.
Now, interesting here, I just got warped up there, but, you know, I didn't actually have to stay.
New best friends.
Everyone could still see me.
Yes, let's make some magic, shall we?
And then I saw, hey, she's up there. And then David was asking, you know, is there any way to get up there? And I thought, I don't know, maybe. So I decided to go investigate. You know how typical theater you go out into a desert and then come back on the balcony. Kind of love that. There's some very fun architecture here. I'd love to chat with whoever designed a lot of the spaces. And I'm like, hey, what's
Our
up?
next guest was blessed with the gift of song so ambiguously that I'm not sure she's ever used it. My favorite star of stage and scream, the long dead, ever on time, technophilic, hydrophobic, Helvetica Perpetua. And Tina.
So I wanted to see here if I walked away from the balcony, if I'd fall down. But nope, if you really take advantage of the quest size, I'm just floating in space right now.
I'm here. You're welcome. And this is Tina. It's so good to be back in the land of the living. I just love your soulful reception. I recently updated my operating system, and I love the new features. Hey, Tina, could you cool it for like 1 second? Because it's not always about you. Hey, Tina, can you do this? Not even close. What's this? What is this, Tina? You notice something? What is this? I've been saving a little money by signing up for flex spending. this I'm doing.
This is a bonkers performance, and I love it.
I like it. It's kind of fun. Hey, Gina. What number am I thinking of? No. Thank you.
Hey, that Helvetica's something, isn't she? You guys
Sean
new around
Spada, everyone.
here? Hey, hello there. Wow, you're pretty good.
Here's a
What do you
live
think of
guy.
Helvetica? She's pretty amazing, huh? Yeah. What a gal. But she is. Ah, you don't have a drink. Come on then. There you go. Have a drink.
Yeah, it seems like often
Helps me
the
get through
audio
the
for the
day.
live performers is too
Yeah.
quiet.
You know, I can do magic too. I can. You know, I was gonna be a great magician. Watch this. Onion. Yeah. You know
He
what?
has the same magic
sad
powers
part
we
is,
do.
That's all I can do. All I can do is create onions. I know. Look at that.
All
Onion.
I can do is create
There we go.
onions.
Onion.
Me too.
You can ask me to create whatever you want. All I can do is create an onion. 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 Ah, I was gonna be the next, you know, I was gonna be the next Harry Houdini. Next Harry Houdini, but all I can do is create onions. Nobody wants to go see a show about onions. But you seem like an interesting person.
I feel like he
Wanna
belongs
help,
on the island of
help old
misfit
Leroy out with
toys.
something? Yeah, I could use some help. I could use
A
some help.
Charlie
Here,
in the
come with
box.
me.
And there you go. There's someone who just got a one-on-one. Can't tell if they went to a secret room or if they're both just up in the piano area now. See, the lighting really directs my attention. I feel like I'm supposed to be looking in some of these places. Yeah, and that's all we got up to today. It's just a little bit of exploring the live acts. Soon I definitely want to go back into the ship, learn more about what's going on there, uncover more of the stories, see the other live acts, figure out more magic spells. Would love to get a one-on-one. It was cool to confirm that if you hop in there at the same time as a friend, you absolutely can see each other. I'm a little bit curious what happens if there's a ton of people playing at the same time. Like after, I don't know, 50 people in that space, does it create a new instance? Back in the day, I remember the first time Reggie Watts performed in Alt Space, and there were 50 people per room, and it kept bouncing from instance to instance. But there were 50 people per room, and I guess Reggie could see one of the rooms, which made it weird because he'd be talking to someone in the room he could see, and then I was in a room where I could not see those people, so there felt like a pretty disconnected performer-audience dynamic. So yeah, curious what happens if the Under becomes very, very popular. But anyway, that's all for now.